There you go.
I know what I'm gonna do, and that ain't it. All right, ready? They were on? Okay. Today is Thursday, November 7th, 2024. This is the regular November board meeting of the Augsburg Bridge and Port Authority. This meeting is called to order. It's 5 p.m. Mr. Lawrence, any letters or communications to the board?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Approval of board minutes, the October 7th, 2024 Finance Committee meeting,
I reviewed that and everything was in order.
and the October 7th, 2024 board meeting.
We have an email from Jennifer Pickman. The minutes look to be accurate and in order. Please let Sam know that I did review them and will move for their approval.
Thank you. Which she can't do because she's not here. So if someone else moved to approve those two meetings minutes.
So moved.
There's a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those minutes are accepted. Committee reports, Finance Committee.
The Finance Committee met earlier today, and we reviewed the September internal 2024 financials. So I would let Patty go over that with the board. If you would, ma'am, please.
If we start with the balance sheet, our accounts receivable regular are at $349,000. 97% of that open AR is current or 1 to 30 days. Our accounts receivable AEAS is at $459. That includes one contour reimbursement from US DOT and 3 contour invoices. The contour invoices have been paid. We're waiting for US DOT to reimburse us, and then we can close the line of credit with Watertown Savings Bank for contour. We still have a line of credit with them for the big airport project, but we can close one of the two. Our fixed assets we'll go over in a few minutes. We are at 49% fully depreciated. Our construction in progress is at 10,520. The problem we have with the MOLSF is the FAA had to do the final inspection. We had to put $42,000 up front. We do not know if we're going to get any portion of that back yet. And I believe our accounting supervisor has reached out to McFarland Johnson's, our accounting contact there, to start the conversation with the FAA. I have a feeling that we're not going to get any of it back, but we just need something to finalize that so that we can take this off the books and make it a fixed asset. Our accounts payable regular are at $225,000. The AEAS contour is 1 month, that's our final month. And our project accounts payable is at 1.2 million. Since September, 1.1 million of that has been paid. And if we look at our second page, you'll notice that our accounts payable, almost everybody is getting paid in full, and those who aren't are getting substantial payments. And we can't say it enough, but thank you to the state of New York. Any questions on the balance sheet? If we go to the budget to actual, we will notice that most of our income is still above budget, which is very good. You'll notice that the fuel sales for the airport are down. Having spoken to Charlie, we feel that Contour is just not taking the fuel, which we've seen in the past year, that some months they take it, some months they don't. This will be the last month. September will be the last month for fuel sales. Breeze is not using our fuel, they're using their fuel. So our fuel will only be for GA going forward. You'll notice that port revenue, marine terminal revenue is down a bit in September and down just a tad overall, we have not yet had a lot of salt throughput yet. So we hope that will pick up in the next month or so. Our expenses, our bridge maintenance expense is over budget, and that is due to the invoice from the bridge inspection arrived and was booked in September, that we should see level out over the course of the year. The legal expenses that we show over budget in the bridge expenses, part of that belongs in the airport because much of what is being charged to the bridge general expenses for legal is actually for the sale of the property. And as the property belongs to the airport, it should be their expense. The maintenance expense under the airport, you'll notice that that's over budget for the month and right now for the year. The PAPI lighting invoice arrived and was booked in September. The installation invoice will be booked in October. The security expense is over budget. We had assumed a $266,000 Leo expense for the year, which would have come in at just over the $22,000 per month, and we are running anywhere between $23,000 and $26,000 a month for the Leo coverage. And most of that is always the overtime if our two gentlemen are not on that day and we have to use other police officers, call-ins, et cetera. Otherwise, our budget to actual is pretty much right on budget, or below budget, which is nothing.
The flights were delayed before, did that impact the amount that we paid at the time for security as well?
It could have,
Okay.
it could have, because although the incoming flights aren't the problem, it's the outgoing flights where we have to have the Leo there while people are checking in. If it's the incoming flight in the evening, they weren't there.
So the delay going out, and it's
Yes.
only like an hour delay, people are already en route or at there, they need to be there.
Right.
Gotcha.
But most of it is because our fellows are not on every day, so we're paying overtime for the additional folks. Now, I told Sam that I would put together a small, doesn't look small, compilation on depreciation so that we can look at how things really are effective here. And these are all of our different types of depreciation. Land does not depreciate, though it's a fixed asset. Land always, hopefully, appreciates. But your land improvements are depreciable. And we can have anything from the bridge, we have the recreational trail, that was an improvement to our property, the bridge approach road, the lighting upgrades, the airport, the runway was a land improvement. So those types of things that make the land even more important and more expensive are depreciable. You'll notice that they're anywhere from 46 to 72% completely depreciated. Buildings and structures, most everything is building. The only thing that isn't, under the bridge, we have the bridge, and under the railroad, they're all bridges, except for the terminal, the engine
house.
in Norfolk. And those are all 32 to 96% depreciated. The improvements to building and structures are anything, all the different rehabs, the roof replacements, modifications to sprinkler systems, that type of thing. That's what's bringing our building and structure improvements. They're all at least 88% depreciated. which means a lot of your things such as roof replacements, they're coming around. And when they go, we're just going to have to. Our furniture and fixtures, except for the bridge, which is the admin building where we have the telephone system, conference room furniture. Back in the day, we even depreciated typewriters, file cabinets, but they're fully depreciated now. The refrigerator, things like that. Other than that, nobody has a great amount of actual furniture. Fixtures, we have security cameras, but everything in furniture and fixtures is 100% depreciated. So at any point in time, its useful life is over. Machinery and equipment, again, it's anything that goes in, that has a license plate is a vehicle. Anything that doesn't have a license plate will be equipment, in addition to HVAC units and lighting and the locomotive rehab and all the different things that we have here, tractors and flail mowers and all of those good things. Now, I do have, just for your viewing pleasure, vehicles and signs. I have our vehicles and signs, just so you can see the age of most of our assets here. Especially looking at our vehicles, which are on the first page. We're still running a 1985 Ford diesel tractor.
Diesel tractor, they last forever.
They do. And a 1992 International with a plow. All of these things are fully depreciated and well past their useful life of between 5 and 10 years. So anything we have here, we have 3 trucks that are not fully depreciated. So it is something that is concerning, because many of these need to be replaced. And you can see that we are anywhere from 57 to 100% depreciated on vehicles. The only vehicle that is keeping the vehicles from being much higher is the new Cat front end loader that must have a license plate, because it's the new one and it's barely started being depreciated. Our signs are on the next page, and they're anything from 88 to 100% depreciated. And I would have put the toll system patron fare display under the bridge with the toll booth, but it doesn't really matter. Otherwise, everything else is well beyond its useful life. The LED sign at the airport and the digital sign right here beyond the toll booth. They're the 2 expensive ones at $64,000. The one behind the toll booth doesn't work at all. And Russ has informed me that he's running out of the square computer things that he sets in for the one at the airport. The little squares that. It's not individual bulbs, they're little
Right.
things that you can plug right in, and he's running out of those for the one at the airport.
And they don't make those anymore?
They don't make them anymore. So
we actually took the panels or squares that Patty's talking about from the Hubleton side and got at least the Ogdensburg side working, just because it wasn't a good look. So at least wanted to have something there. So that's where we're at. The other side, we'll either have to buy a vinyl sign or something.
How much is that?
Excuse me?
To replace the sign that's out there. What
Oh, I
about-
imagine probably now they're probably 80 to 90. I don't know. The one thing though with that though, that was with a foundation and all of that. So maybe you can retrofit something in there that, you know, just enlarge it or shrink it or whatever to make it work. But we haven't gotten a price on any of that yet.
So unfortunately, you'll notice that most of our equipment or building improvements, everything that we've done is coming to the end of its useful life. And we know that. We try to budget for HVAC units, but the stabilization funding doesn't cover the capital expenditures. So we know that at any point in time, we might have an outlay that we'll have to figure out how to fund. But this gives you an overview of the types of things that are in each category and how they're being depreciated.
So the acquired value is how much it cost when we did it, or when we
When we
improved, when we
purchased,
made the improvement or purchased or whatever, and no date necessarily assigned to that. Some of those are probably old as well,
oh,
right?
some of those are very old. I mean, the vehicles you can see go from 85 to 2023, and the signs are 75 to 2012, 2017. So
When we look at all of this stuff that's, its useful life or its value is depreciated, do we have a prioritized list somewhere of things that we need to replace most?
I could look at that and I could do that, but we don't have one. Part of it was just our finances and everything there, we're just making do. We really haven't looked seriously because there was really no answer to having that. And I'm just speaking of the last 7 or 8 years. I tried a lot of times with the capital budget and it just got pushed and pushed and pushed. Like you see these trees
Yeah.
that are going down, that's been on the capital budget for 7 or 8 years. And then as they gradually die, we got more and more. So at least Patty and James, I'm pleased to see that happening. But that's kind of what was happening. Is just I can go through, I could do that and prioritize that for you off of that list.
Just kind
And
of,
what needed, you know, in a priority.
Yeah, I mean, I know if we're in survival mode and we're taking care of things when they go, but it would be nice just to know if we were able to prioritize what things would be the most important to have on our list, just in case there were additional funding.
Well, the whole point of asking for this and reviewing it, I mean, you look on the balance sheet and you see how much it has been depreciated. So it shows that a lot of our assets are old. And obviously, we need additional help. And like you said, Nicole, on maybe purchasing some of those that obviously are so outdated now that they're pretty much not even useful. So a list of that would be helpful as we go forward.
If we sell items that are no longer of use to us, does the surplus that we make from that have to be used for a like thing? Or can that surplus money be used towards other items that we need to replace?
I don't think we did sell surplus stuff, but you
it
know better.
doesn't have to be. It's nice if we could hold on to it for a replacement purpose. But it doesn't have to be because it's surplus property. We can do what we need to with it instead of necessarily what we want to.
Okay.
Just so you know, we basically, everything that we have now, we use. We've gone through all of that
The
over the
surplus stuff
years,
that you
all the
did.
surplus stuff. But if we had a plan forward, we could eliminate this stuff through surplus. I don't imagine there'll be any kind of real useful income, but it'll help a little bit.
And just to give you an update, we do have the Niceler's bill for this December. It is, if we can prepay it by December 15th, it will be $269,000. At this point, we have $254,000. We are due another $6,000. That will leave $8,200 that I will have by December 15th. So this bill will be paid in full.
Good.
We have taken, the majority of the money is the cargo money that we had the salt chips, which were extra and not anticipated.
Mhm.
So we're going to use it to pay off the Niceler's bill.
This is probably a silly question, but do we have anything that we get interest income on?
We get interest income on the harbor deepening funds that are invested. And otherwise, what we get is $2.39.
Negligible.
Yeah, but that's the only one that makes us the money, but that's untouchable, so it's good because we do collect the interest on it. It's not as though we're borrowing from it, if you will. So that's.
Anything else?
No, I'm sorry.
Anyone have any further questions from the finance committee? If not, we'll move on to bridge traffic report.
For October, we're inching closer and closer. We're well within our budget numbers. I think what would we use, Patty, 18%?
Yeah, 82% of.
So yeah, 82% of traffic. So right now, we're roughly at 91 and coming back. And if you look, their truck traffic, although other crossings, was actually up by 0.5%, which is encouraging. So we're always trying to look for the positive numbers out of that. But, you know, the bottom line is the red number down below for the year. And that's still quite a chunk of change that we have a hard time replacing or coming up with. So, you know, the good news is, you know, from our budget standpoint, we're ahead of that. So hopefully we keep heading in that direction, and maybe with increased Canadian traffic for the airport, that might boost us a little bit more to get us closer, you know, at least back to in the single digits for traffic. Any questions?
No?
Okay.
Move on to the airport activity report, please.
Yes, so actually this is the first month of Breeze's flight. So 30 flight was conducted, flights per day, 462 enplanements. That's about roughly 11% load factors on the plane. Completion rate is 97%, and their on-time performance 93%. And I can't stress enough, we haven't seen a 93% on-time performance rate for a while. I think the public need to realize that Breeze is trying their hardest for reliability, and they're trying to win passengers back. And I think me and Anthony has discussed it. It will take a little bit for people. For past 2 years, it will take people a little bit to get back to the routine of traveling out in Ellensburg again because of reliability. And we're striking for that. And I know the 11% looks a little disappointing, but if we think about it but that's on a 137 seat, narrow body jet. If we really think about it as a 30 seat regular EAS, 30 seat or to 50 seat regional jet, with this amount of enplanements for 30 flights, we're looking at about almost 51% of load factors, which is pretty well for the month. And they're still doing well. And we're getting really good feedbacks from passengers. Everybody that's on board really loved their service, loved their on time, and loved the plane. Almost I heard everybody takes the plane when they take a picture of the plane before they get on the plane. So everybody was really happy seeing this type of plane here in Ellensburg, and I think we can continue working towards and I'm seeing more and more Canadians coming over the border. So they start telling people about, hey, Ogdensburg got this flight again. So we're seeing more and more, and a lot of people ask about, because now on the airport screen we have one that says from Ogdensburg to Orlando now. So a lot of people ask, you guys have an Orlando flight? And our response is yes, we do, but it doesn't start till February. So, but we're ticket sale Tuesdays been doing well. People have been buying tickets. So I think overall we're going towards the right direction, and the airline's willing to work with us. As Anthony probably will tell you guys, they've been really helpful to us. There are 93% because of one flight. They had one delay, and they fixed that the next day. They hauled a brand new piece of equipment all the way from New Hampshire to Ogdensburg, overnighted, and then they got there the next day, and they fixed the issue the next day, and they did 2 flights that day to fix to get anybody on board back to Dulles, or from Dulles to here. So it was really fast. Eric, called me on the phone that night and says, Charlie, hey, I know the issue. He's like, let me deal with it. He's like, I'll give you a call back in a few minutes. And he did, and he called back. He's like, I talked to Trago, and we're gonna get a piece of equipment up there the next day. So we wasn't getting that before, and I want to stress enough that it's good to deal with something like this, because that's what people want to see, is reliability. So that's doing well. And also on the picture you guys see on there, that's our brand new marketing. It's our striping. We have finished that already. That's their brand new striping that Breeze required for them. And I think KT Striping did a pretty good job on it. And Breeze is happy with it. Overall, it's pretty fresh new painting on there, so it looks good.
Charlie just explained it's the orientation of the reason for that too. So
yes, so the orientation, why they want that, number one, because safety issue. Number two is that they would want their plane parked in that way because the wind don't directly go right into the turbine engine when they start it. So it gets, and especially in the winter with cold air and snow goes in their engine, is really hard on their engine. So they would like to park sideways. So when the wind starts blowing, it blows only sideways, not right into the engine. And also with this way, actually this way it's closer if you walk with the new terminal directions, the way it is. It's actually closer to get to the door. And it looks a lot better in a way, because it's now the plane coming in an actual safety distance within the terminal. The wing actually is not on the side of the building anymore. So, and another good news to share too, Corning will be coming in winter. Corning, they will be operating, well, they're private, so they will be operating twice a week for all winter long. And again, for confidential, I can't say why they're here, but they'll be operating twice a week out of here all winter long. And they have workout. We're in communication with Trago in regards to with us and Trago and them. So Trago will do de-ice for them directly. So we will handle all the ground stuff, but Trago Dugan will do all the de-ice for them when they come into the airport, so they can come and go as they need it.
And we've had 3 sports teams charter come in.
We did.
I'm not happy that they beat Clarkson.
can't have everything.
There's a silver lining, at least for them.
But that is good.
And the sport team was really happy.
Good.
Especially Notre Dame called back and said that it was really convenient for them, that they can get off the plane, get to Clarkson in no time, rather than they're flying into Syracuse and then they have to drive another 2.5 hours on a bus.
Exhausting for the athletes.
Right.
So
Nice.
Alaska, I couldn't figure that out because they played other teams in New York too after being here.
yeah, so
They didn't fly in here though, eh?
Alaska did not.
That's why. They must have flown in somewhere and then took a bus to other teams, because once they played Clarkson, they were going down to
Yep.
Union, was it?
I think so.
Was it Union?
I suppose when they're down here, they want to play a lot of games.
Yeah.
They're not gonna have room for 40 games.
Were they on break or something?
No, that's just how it works. They didn't have a home ride. Somebody was talking in the stands. I was there.
Yeah, but Breeze does got a good amount of like I said, their E190 and their E195, that's what they use purely for charters. So they do got a pretty big contract for charter, for sports charters. So we'll be seeing more of those for hockey teams. So
So we're making contact with college athletic directors or whatever, we let them know that we have this available in case a team wants to play one of our college teams. Charlie, I'm looking for a yes.
Well, I have to get Anthony. Anthony has the contacts of the teams. I do not have
Yeah,
contacts
you
of
threw
the
that right away.
I was gonna say.
Team effort there.
Pretty quick to throw your.
Good for
I
you.
think
We'll have something.
Randy the Break's aware of what we do here, because they flew out, the women's team flew out of here, and I know Randy pretty well. And Randy he was a pilot out here, and he knows the airport pretty well, so he's kind of partial to it. So he knows that. I haven't talked to him directly about Breeze or anything like that, but I will look at mentioning it to him.
Yep. So yeah, we'll get into it, but yeah, they do charters and they do it well. So we'll let everybody know that around all the universities. So.
Good.
Charlie, once the contract was announced with Breeze, how many days did they have to, before they had to have their first flight?
Can't stress enough, 7 days. So I think really they think, again, I have to mention again, we got to cut them some slack because they only have 7-day booking windows for their first flights.
You couldn't book a flight, so it was.
Right.
Correct. You couldn't
Not
book a
all
flight,
that.
so
Right, but didn't they have up until December once well, I thought there was a gap in time that they had to be able to be ready to do.
they do. But the issue was that Breeze did not get an official word from DOT, so they did not want to put their ticket on sale.
Right, I'm just very impressed, I guess, with the quick turnaround from the announcement to being able to have 935 enplanements in and out of Ogdensburg with such quick turnaround. And I, for one, that did not vote in favor of Breeze, I have to be humble, and that's, I thought that they were giving us some empty promises, and they're following through, right? We've got the flight to Orlando, and they're working on the interline agreements, and I'm pleasantly happy and surprised and supportive of them. So I just wanted to, it's impeccable, the turnaround to get this up and going, so.
I'll definitely let them know. I think
Thank
Eric
you.
would be happy to hear
Thank you, I appreciate them.
I don't think we hold that against you.
that.
Anyone,
Somebody has to be the voice of opposition.
that's right. Anyone is entitled to vote no. For sure. Any other questions of Charlie? If not, we'll move on to the board activity report, please.
Okay. So as you can see, for just regular highway salt, there was 6,471 tons of regular highway salt loaded and trucked out, with 212 tons of the thaw rocks.
We did have one day of snow, didn't we? Was that the day?
Yeah, I woke up to one morning with a little bit of snow on the truck.
Mhm.
Must have been Ogdensburg.
I was gonna say.
Really?
And then, as Patty mentioned with Cargill, a new customer for the past few years has returned, and their product has just recently, the last couple weeks, started to move out of the facility with 227 tons leaving. And on to a superb month for ag. We ended up having a total of 28 rail cars received. And of 28 cars, we had a total of 2,390 tons received and 666 tons loaded out. I have not personally seen 28 rail cars received and unloaded in a month in my short couple years here, so I definitely want to thank everybody involved for making it all happen. Vermont Rail, our ILA, for unloading everything in a timely fashion. We actually ran into a point where we had to kind of reorganize some of the loose feed, the third product we recently started unloading a couple months ago, just for keeping things separated, which was a horrible problem to have. And then just a couple of highlights for the month of October. As the last few months have passed, you've seen some paving come across our desks. All of that has been completed at the border station down at the port. I know just in passing, it is a nice smooth roadway now, so hopefully everybody sees that, appreciates that, and we're glad to be able to take care of our customers and tenants. It was well overdue. As Steve mentioned, Putney Tree Service started taking down 17 of the trees. As of today, they had at least 7 of the 17 down. Their plan is to take all 17 down and then start right from 37 end and start all the stump removals. So far, they've been doing a nice, clean job with a 2-3 person staff. All good things, even from tenants, fellow staff members. So we thank them. We had our final week of bridge inspection, week of Columbus Day. So that Parsons were up with the Snoop truck. Staff was able to make 2 floor beam repairs over Route 2 in Canada, while OBPA services were here for the inspection. So it was kind of 2 birds, 1 stone, and a certified bridge welder was employed for 3 to 4 days. And with that, staff and that individual were able to prefabricate some steel and eliminate the 3 plates that were in the Canadian approach.
Good.
So that sudden jolt you get from the bolts and the plate are now gone, and I think it was a great opportunity to start a new relationship with a younger individual. So hopefully we keep him in our pocket for future use if we have anything down the road. And that was all I had.
Good. Anyone have any further questions of James? Now we'll move on to the economic development report, including the building occupancy.
Great. So if we start with building occupancy for Commerce Park campus in particular, we're holding at an 89% occupancy rate. We are working on a potential leasing deal on office space in the Commerce Park, which would bring that up to 90%. So hopefully over the next couple of months, we'll be able to do that. So I'm excited about that. Over the past month, I was actually on the road a little bit. So I got to attend the Bridge and Tunnel Operators Association annual meeting in Detroit, which was really good to meet other crossings, Peace Bridge Crossing, Ambassador Bridge. It was a good eye-opening experience to discuss what other bridges, tolling operations and leasing operations. And just here, we're not on an island ourselves with some of the issues we run into. So that was good. I attended the North Country Alliance Fall Forum, which was hosted at the St. Lawrence Seaway Visitor Center. And the keynote speaker was Adam Tyndall-Slitt, which is the GLS administrator. And during his talk, he was highlighting a lot of the good economic development projects that are happening in the area, and mainly with Ogdensburg Bridge and Port Authority. So it was really nice to be able to get that kind of recognition from a federal official. So that was nice. And thanks to Dave, I was able to give the keynote speech at the St. Lawrence County Farm Bureau annual meeting. I thought that went well. It was nice to interact with the local ag community and just say what we have going on, reintroduce ourselves, and see if there's potential for collaboration, mainly with the port and rail operation. So that was good. And then, as Charlie alluded to, we had an initial marketing meeting with Breeze. There'll be monthly meetings going, onward, just to discuss expectations, who's doing what, things of that nature, what they'd like to see us do for marketing efforts and things like that. So that was a good. It's a breath of fresh air being able to work with a good dedicated team that wants to see success here in Ogdensburg. So it's
Good. Dave, thanks for
Yeah.
helping out on that.
I'd just make one comment that it was nice
Absolutely.
to, I don't know if this is probably the right time, but it's nice, we don't get a chance as a board to see our employees do their job, and watching Anthony get work done was pretty nice.
We will not be asking him back to next year.
Come on, Dave. It's a review. He did a nice job. It was nice to see that happen, and to watch people engage and question and be interested in what goes on. Because I think the biggest problem is people just don't know.
Right.
And
You invite them out for a tour?
Yeah. So there's a
Did he, Dave?
I think at some point there's going to be a tour. No, he did.
Yeah, there's a group of earlier career
Young
farmers.
Young farmers.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
That we'd like to really get down to the port to just,
Yeah.
They were more drawn to Anthony
they bring in fresh ideas. It's the next generation. We're relatively early career staff at the OBPA, so there might be opportunities that just been overlooked or just the economic conditions haven't been right. So
Good.
thank you, Dave.
All good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
very
great to
good.
hear.
Very good. Anything else?
No.
Anyone have any questions of Anthony? No? We have any unfinished business, Mr. Lawrence?
No, Mr. Chairman.
So next on the agenda is the general administration approval of a management confidential salary schedule. It only happens once a year. I can't remember how we dealt with it last year, but if I remember right, we did go into executive session for a bit and discussed what the board would like to do. And we can do that for that reason. And while we're in executive session, I believe there are other discussions we need to have regarding additional contracts.
That's correct.
So if you could read that little piece you're reading.
Well, there will be a need to go into executive session for matters relating to section 105. I believe it's H of 105H of the conducting an executive session. So it would be the proposed, it'd be talking about contract discussion
And personnel matters.
and personnel,
correct?
yes.
Okay.
And
Is there a motion to go in executive session?
So moved.
Made and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, executive session. No, hold on. Okay. Okay. It is 7:06. We're out of executive session. We'll return to the agenda. Agenda item A1. Approval of management confidential salary schedule.
The management confidential compensation policy as approved in the employee handbook at the October 7th, 2021 board meeting states that the annual adjustment factor will be set annually by the Ogdensburg Bridge and Port Authority Board of Directors at the December board meeting each year. In order to have a complete budget packet ready for a board vote in December, staff requests that the board adopt a salary increase for management confidential employees at the November board meeting. It is recommended by the board of directors and executive director that a 4% salary increase be extended to management confidential employees for calendar year 2025. Salary increases will be retroactive to the 1st of January upon completion of employee evaluations.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion's been made, second,
Second.
and seconded. Any further discussion? Not Karen, call the roll, please.
Mr. Manelli?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Burns?
Yes,
Ms. Whitten?
Yes.
thank you. Agenda item C1.
Agenda item C1 has to do with the childcare facility. The Ogdensburg Bridge and Port Authority has begun planning for the Ogdensburg Bridge and Port Authority OBPA childcare facility, the project, in accordance with regulations of Article 8 of the State Environmental Quality Review Act, SECRA. The authority desires to take the position of lead agency for this project and to determine whether the development of this project may have a significant effect on the environment as defined by SECRA Act and the regulations, and therefore requires the preparation of an environmental impact statement. As a lead agency, the Ogdensburg Bridge and Port Authority has prepared a full environmental assessment form, FEAF, which was prepared and reviewed by authority staff, and copies of which are on file at the office of the Ogdensburg Bridge and Port Authority Executive Director. The authority, pursuant to the regulations, will be reviewing the FEAF in order to make determination as to the potential environmental significance of the project and determine that the project is an unlisted action. Resolved that the Ogdensburg Bridge and Port Authority hereby assumes the designation of lead agency for the action it is undertaking for the Ogdensburg Bridge and Port Authority childcare facility project, as said designation is defined by Article 8 of the State Environmental Quality Review Act of the Environmental Conservation Law and its underlying regulations.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
So
And seconded.
Second.
Any discussion?
just to mention that I will be coming back, if we get all of this done, I will be coming back in December to get approval that we, as it appears now, that it will be an unlisted action, but these things are a requirement of getting the permitting that I need to go to the board on all of these. So just to make you aware of that.
Good.
Thank you.
Karen, call the roll, please.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Whitten?
Yes.
Mr. Manelli?
Yes.
Agenda item C2.
Okay, approval of lease supplement number 5 with Quality Hearing Instruments LLC. Staff has negotiated lease supplement number 5 with Quality Hearing Instruments LLC for 424 square feet of office space in Building 1 of the Commerce Park campus for a 2-year period commencing February 1st, 2025 and terminating January 31st of 2027 at a rate of $15.75 per square foot, equaling $556.50 per month, or $13,356 for the new 2-year period, inclusive of utilities. All other terms and conditions of the original lease agreement shall remain in full force and effect and are hereby ratified and affirmed.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
So moved.
And seconded. Any discussion? Karen, call the roll, please.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Whitten?
Yes.
Mr. Manelli?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Thank you. Agenda item C3.
Agenda item C3, approval of commercial storefront door installation in Building 1. In an effort to enhance accessibility to the kitchen space in Building 1 of Commerce Park campus, staff seeks to contract with Northern Glass for the installation of a commercial storefront door at a cost of $7,835. The current tenant of the space will commit $2,000 to the cost of this project, therefore reducing the cost to the authority to $5,835. Due to the complexity of this project and it being a long-term capital improvement to the building, Northern Glass is being chosen for their expertise in projects of this nature and for their commitment to quality workmanship and completing the project within an acceptable time frame.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
Make a motion.
Second?
Second.
This is for Hoagies and more?
Yes.
How are they doing?
Seems to be doing decent. They've had a little hiccups early on, but I think they're getting their grounding.
They deliver to the correctional facility, I believe to the psychiatric center. Somebody I know has been there almost every day this week, and I think he likes it.
It's good to hear.
It's good to hear, yeah. And I know that, yeah. They don't have breakfast. So it's good. And there's been, when I'm there, I noticed there's employees at work in Commerce Park that are there. So that's good. It's good for the park. And, it's nice to have another option for lunch. So I wish them well. I don't think they'll give me a discount, but no, that's good. It's good. It's good to have them there. So, Karen, call the roll, please.
Can I just ask one question before we do it?
Yes.
I know it states it in the report, but in the resolution piece, does it need to restate that the current tenant is committing the 2,000 and that the actual cost to us is the 5,835? Does that part need to be in the resolution? Is it okay that it's just in the report?
Jen?
I don't think it has to be in the resolution, but you can certainly modify the resolution to include that language so there's no question.
Would you like that sentence included? Starting with the current tenant, ending with the 5,835.
Yes.
Yes?
If it can make sure that the current tenant doesn't uncommit, which I don't think they will, but.
Is that in writing, Anthony?
It's verbal, and we'll most likely break it down into
Let's get
invoice
that in writing.
structure.
Would they be,
Yeah.
like co-signers on the contract or something, or is that how that would work?
No, we'll issue the PO.
Okay.
Yeah, before we enter into anything with Northern Glass, we should get that in writing from the tenant.
Yes. All right, so you're going to move to amend the resolution to include the sentence, the current tenant of the space will commit $2,000 to the cost of this project, therefore reducing the cost to the authority to $5,835. Is that correct? And you've made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, now we're just voting on the motion as amended. Karen?
Ms. Whitten?
Yes.
Ms. Terminelli?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Burns?
Yes. Now we're going to vote on the amended resolution, including that one sentence. Is there a motion for that?
I'll make that motion.
And seconded. Karen, call the roll?
Ms. Whitten?
Yes.
Ms. Terminelli?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Burns?
Yes. Okay. Agenda item D1.
Okay, approval of building space and GSE storage lease with Trago Dugan Aviation of Grand Island Incorporated. Staff has negotiated a building space and GSE storage lease with Trago Dugan Aviation of Grand Island Incorporated for 560 square feet of airport terminal space and 3,162 square feet of GSE storage building space at the Ogdensburg International Airport for a 2-year period commencing October 1st, 2024 and terminating September 30th of 2026 at the rates provided below. So first item, airport offices and space rental will be $26.24 a square foot for a monthly rent of $1,224.53 and an annual amount of $14,694.40. GSE storage rental will be $6.15 per square foot, monthly charge of $1,620.53, annual rate of $19,446.30. The total monthly will be $2,845.06, and the total annual rent will be $34,140.70. and Trago Dugan Aviation will be responsible for its prorated share of all utilities.
Okay. Is there a motion?
So
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? No, I have a question, but go ahead.
I thought that we had a 3-year agreement with Breeze,
That's my question.
and we only have a 2-year agreement with Trigo Dugan.
It's a 2-year agreement with USDOT.
It's only a 2-year agreement?
Correct.
With DOT?
yes, that's, yes.
With Breeze?
Yep.
I thought it was 3 too.
Oh, I thought it was 3 too.
It's only a 2-year agreement. So traditional, really, they went with the
That's what
traditional.
EAS traditionally is?
Yep.
3-year might have been in the proposal.
They proposed for 3
Yeah.
years.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they got 2 years.
Okay. Oh, that clears that up. Good. So this is, now, Craig Dugan has been out there for a month, right?
Correct.
And this reverts back to October 1st.
Correct.
Okay. Covering through September 30th of 2026.
And these rates are the rates that were approved by the board in the rates and charges schedule
Okay.
previously.
Good. Any other discussion? Karen, call the roll, please.
Ms. Terminelli?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Witten?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Mr. Lawrence, any other matters?
No, Mr. Chairman?
Okay, any concluding comments from staff or board members? Anyone online? Okay. Next meeting date is scheduled for December 12th at 5 PM. Let me see. December 12th. And the budget. So, I'm assuming this is gonna take a while. The budget presentation? Maybe yes, maybe no.
We try to have it open for anybody to ask any questions they want.
I'm good with the 12th.
I'm good.
You're good? Dave, you know yet? You don't know?
Depends how I go. 10 days in there. Probably, but okay.
I will send out an email to the others. The more we have here, the better, I feel. So maybe I can make sure the others understand that it's important that they be here for especially that meeting. Okay? Anything else? No? Megan, good? Dave, Cole? Motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
Made and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? No. We stand adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
But